Hi, Andrea. Good morning.
Hi, teacher. Good morning.
How are you today?
Fine. Just sleepy.
Yes, I can imagine. Where are your classmates?
Oh, they just log off from the proficiency class.
Okay, all right. Very good. So let's just wait a little bit. How was your class?
It's the first one, so it's always like, oh, kind of boring. But then you wake up.
Yeah, I can imagine. Who's your teacher? Sandra or Michelle?
No, it's Berta.
Oh, Berta. Yes, yeah, I remember. Okay.
Hello, Miss.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, teacher. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good.
Fine,
Very
fine.
good. Very good. All right, so I guess that we can start, and I'll be accepting whoever starts joining us. So last class we talked about um this. I think we finished, if I'm not mistaken, with this part about the fact that classroom management involves um, both decisions and actions. So pretty much what decision I'm going to make and what is the action that I'm going to do as well. So following this, I have this part, and it says basic skills of classroom management, and then I have look at the classroom events minute by minute, finding options, making decisions between one option and another, and these two, in a way, they can help me think of an action and then do the action that I choose. But what do you think? Look at the classroom events minute by minute means. What do you think it means? Or why do you think as teachers we have to be looking at the class, like everything that is going on in the classroom every minute?
Well, that you have a continuous process of supervising the activities inside the classroom.
Okay, so it's to supervise. What else?
Maybe, I sorry.
Yes, Andrea, continue. No, don't worry.
maybe, maybe like walking around the classroom to see if they are working or not.
Okay, so yes, in this case, one can be supervising, another one monitoring, which in a way they are similar but not necessarily, making sure
Mhm.
they're working. And Aster, what were you
It,
going to
it's
say?
just that you never know what happened because they will be doing like activity,
Mhm.
but if they are like using colors, will be like, and it's mine. No, it's not, and things like that. So we have to be like really, really alert that I mean those things can happen at the school.
Mhm. So let's say that you know what, you are supervising or monitoring your class, and then in your class you have Dana, Aster, and Alejandra. I'm sorry, and Andrea, and then
Mhm.
uh, you make them work together, and then you have Alejandro, Ulises, Hassan, Genesis in another group, and they are working together. But you know what? Andrea, Aster, and Dana are using their phones because they are looking at Instagram pictures of whatever YouTuber that they like. Okay, and then you see that they are not doing the work that you asked them to do. So this is looking, monitoring what they are doing. So if I see they are doing that, what do you think finding and then making decisions would be? What would be my option? Sorry, first.
Could be like to have like a rule that have like a basket or so and say
Okay.
like no, I mean no cell phones in class and put it them and when the class end you can back giving them back the cell phones and obviously to change them the like a new, for example, to put myself into the Hassan
Mm-hmm.
group and then for example put like Ulises with them,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe we can work in that way.
Okay, so in this case, one would be the rule that I should have about, you know what, the cell phones, either you ask for permission or I put them aside, right? Another one, as you mentioned, you know what, maybe I have 7 students, so maybe instead of 3 and 4, maybe I put them 3, 2, 2. So I separate them. That would be one. That would be my decision um, between like one of the options that I have. And then in this case, this pretty much give you an action. So you know what? Andrea and Ulises, you two work together. Aster, Hassan, you two work together. Alejandro, Dana, and Genesis, you three work together. And that way, Andrea, Aster, and Dana are not going to be looking at the Instagram of the influencer that they really like. That's my action, and that's me doing the action that I selected. Now, what happens if, for example, my plan in the lesson plan that I had was to put Andrea, Aster, and Dana together because I know that they can also work together well. But instead of them working, they are using the Instagram. So what do I do if my plan was that should I have another like backup plan or no?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? What about the rest? Would you do that? Like, would you change, even though in your lesson plan says that Andrea, Aster, and Dana have to work together, or you wouldn't change them?
Well, an option could be that you can set out the rules. Consequently, if somebody is talking by phone, maybe he or she will have to pay a kind of fine or something like that.
Okay, all
Hmm.
right. So those are the things that I have to tell them before they
Hmm.
start
Yeah,
working.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
All right. So yes, they have to do that before start working. So basic skills that we have to have as teachers would be looking at the classroom events at all times. So as a teacher, is it a good idea to tell them, you know what? Andrea, Aster, Dana, you work together. Alejandro, Hassan, you too. Ulises and Genesis, you too. And then they start working together, and I'm like this as a teacher. Do
Mhm.
you think is it good for me to just like start using my phone and have them work together or no?
No.
No. No.
No.
So I have to be present at all times. Why?
Hmm.
Because then it happens that you have one student that tells them, hey, you know what? Look at what, um, I don't know, Luisito Rey or whatever influencer that you like is doing right now. So I have to make sure that I think about all of the potential things that I can find as options. And I do have to make decisions on the spot. So you know what? This is not working. Forget about it. I'm gonna separate them
Hmm.
because otherwise the learning that should happen doesn't occur. Okay. So you always need to have an action after this and do. Don't be afraid of doing the action because in the end you are the teacher. So you are the one who makes the decisions.
Mm-hmm. Miss, but I still think that like about the cell phone because yeah, probably we are like that. Like when we go back to school and Dan and Andrea we always like talk and gossip like did you see that and this and that and But if we, for example, if we just move to the groups, we can still like using our phone and say like, Andrea, look, Dana, look, and I don't know, have like a WhatsApp group and start
Yeah.
talking. So obviously, like for me, like I don't know, something really important is that to take off the phones because they will like get distracted. And now, if you, for example, like put us like the activity and you're still with your cell phone, we will be like Miss, but you are with your cell phone, like
Mhm.
something that you asked us not to do, but you are doing. So we'll be
Mhm.
like, if the teacher do that, why I should not be on my phone?
Exactly. So you cannot, as a teacher, you cannot tell them, you know what, it is forbidden, or you mustn't use your phone. Okay, it's not correct. And then I go and I do the same thing. It's like I have to as a teacher of English, or as a teacher in a bachelor's degree or in college, I still have to, you know what? I'm not going to use my phone. If if I have to use my phone because it happens, I tell them, you know what? I tell them from the beginning. I'm going to receive a message from a teacher. I'm going to receive a message from my boss, or you know what, I have a family issue and I'm expecting messages, so I'm going to use the phone during the class. But I have to tell them from the beginning, because then they think what you say. The teacher told me not to use the phone, but she's using it. So it is important also to, I mean, if we talk about the cell phone, you know what, I'm expecting this phone call, so if you see me with the phone, it's because of that. So that's also important, because it happens, and it's completely understandable. Okay,
Mhm.
very good. So now continue. These are, we're talking about the basic skills, and then in here I have, how can you decide what's best to do? How can you decide what's best to do? Talking about decisions. And then I have this question that says, what influences and informs your decisions between different options? These are the things that I have to think. Like, these are all factors that I have to have in mind. Okay. It says, what is the aim of this activity? Again, do I really want Andrea, Aster, and Dana together for them to work? Can they actually complete the activity? What is the aim or the objective for the whole lesson? Okay, so if I have them together right now, are they going to be able to complete the activity at the end? I mean, the all the activities at the end, because they are using the cell phones. What is hindering the effectiveness of what we are doing? So again, if I put Andrea, Aster, and Dana together, what is going to hinder the effectiveness of what they are doing? What do you think?
Mm,
Teacher, what it means hindering?
Ah, hindering is that affects,
Oh, okay.
something that affects or doesn't
Okay.
let something happen. So what do you think? You know what? I know that Alejandro and Hassan, they work really well together. I know that Genesis and Marla work really well together. Andrea, Aster, and Dana, they work together, but they are really good friends. They are best friends, and they do everything together. What do you think is going to affect the effectiveness of what they are doing in an activity?
It could be a distraction
Okay.
because as best friends, it's supposed that we are talking about other topics than the one that we already
Mm-hmm.
are seeing during the class, and we are not paying attention actually because we
Mm-hmm.
are friends and we don't have to tell like each other what to do, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So the thing that I put in, it's like throwing a coin to the air. So if you put best friends together, you think as a teacher, you say, it's great because they are going to get along. But then you get the other side of the coin, and it's like, but they are talking about the boy that Dana really likes. So, and they are going to give her some tips about what to do with this guy, and they are not going to do the activity. It happens. So those are the things that I have to have in my mind. Also, the time, it is important. So you know what? You have 5 minutes. But from these 5 minutes, I noticed that Genesis and Marla, you know what? They are opening the books still, or they are just opening a Word document if it's online. So how much time am I going to actually give them? Also, this is important. How do the students feel and how am I feeling? So, you know what? I come to the class and I have an emotional situation and I'm not feeling good. You know what? And I tell them something, I get angry because they are not doing it. Do you think it's a good idea for me to get angry with the students if it's something that is personal and emotional from the outside? Okay, so I need to forget about that. If I'm feeling sick or if I'm feeling bad, I need to, you know what, calm down, forget, and do the same. The students as well. They need to, you know what, I feel bad. I tell the teacher, you know what, teacher, I don't feel good. This happened. Maybe you don't have to tell them everything. But you know what, I don't feel good. I'm going to be here half an hour and then I'm going to leave. Like but as a teacher, I have to understand all of those things.
Yeah, I remember a teacher who used to tell us, leave your problems outside the classroom
That's
for a
always
moment.
important.
Yeah.
And you know what? It is well, and I want you to give me your opinion. Do you think it's also correct, or is it good for me to tell the students, you know what? Um, I'm feeling really sick. I'm probably going to be slower than usual, or I'm probably going to be sitting on a chair because I don't feel good. Do you think it's okay for me to tell the students?
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, the idea is to have an environment of confidence, of trust, and you need to have that connection with the students. Okay. And at the end, we also have to have in mind at all times, like, what are the possible outcomes? What can happen if I do all of this? Like, what is going to be the result? And again, we're all talking about the decisions that we make before, during, and after the actions that we decide to do. But these are all of the things we have to have in mind. Okay? Questions with this?
Well, everything that we have been discussing here is just to try to get the proper aim of the class or the activity.
Yeah. In this case, it is part of classroom management because, again, let's say that I'm breaking the lesson or the class in steps. Like, I'm thinking
Okay.
about an activity, and then I'm actually thinking about, you know what, every lesson, and then what's going to affect the effectiveness of what they do in general. If the time that I'm using is also proper for them, the feelings is important. For me, thinking about the feelings is important. And then the results. Again, if you are angry and then you get angry with one student and then the student gets angry, I mean, what's going to happen in the end? Are they doing something? Are they going to do something or not? So all of these decisions are part of classroom management.
Okay.
Very well. Okay, we'll discuss about this. And okay, well, these are factors that are
Frequently involved.
frequently involved in the decisions and the actions that we as teachers make. Normally we have these two in mind. Like, you know what? I even if it's an experienced teacher, you always have in mind I don't know any other option. Like, I don't know what else to do, so I'm just going to let them. You know what? Andrea and Aster, they can do whatever they want. I don't know what to do with them. That's it. And then I know in here, I know some other options, but I'm avoiding them because they are difficult, they are troublesome, and they are nerve-wracking. Okay, so these are the things, the factors, sorry, that are involved normally in a decision or in an action as a teacher. What do you think about these two? What are your thoughts about them? Do you think they are correct or not? What would you do?
I think that it depends because, well, I'm gonna say an example.
Mm-hmm.
In the place where I training, there's a girl that he does whatever she wants, and my coach is like, I don't, because he doesn't like her behavior too, but he doesn't say anything. He let her be because he said, no, I don't care about her. I don't care about you. But she has like a very bad behavior, and she does whatever she wants because she knows that he never says nothing to her.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it is the problem in that option because the students can take like I don't know, they increase like their ego because he's not saying nothing to me, so I think I'm doing something okay, or I don't care what he's going to say.
Mm-hmm.
So they take like an advantage of that situation.
Yeah. In this case, it's like a chain. So you know what? You start with this girl, with this, like, you have the student, and then the student is going to tell, let's say the student is Alejandro. Alejandro is the one that doesn't listen to the teacher. He's drawing in the notebook. He's listening to music, whatever. And then Hassan observes Alejandro. And then Hassan checks that the teacher doesn't say anything to Alejandro. So then Hassan is going to probably do it again. And then Andrea notices that Hassan is the same. And then it's going to go like this, like a little chain. And in the end, as a teacher, this would be like, no, I need to think about what to do. Even if it's something that is very simple, I need to think about all of those things. Besides, Dana, have you ever had like something like this in one of your classes? Maybe not in the university, but as a student in high school or elementary school, what happened?
Yes, I was in high school, but I was in a technical high school.
Okay.
So that classrooms were like very, very, I don't know how to say. They're very big, and if someone doesn't work, they can hide because it's like
Yeah.
there are a lot of corners and it's like dark. The rooms are very dark,
Okay.
and there was a teacher who always had like a problem with a group of students on my class, and she got on her nerves, and at the end she doesn't tell them anything. And well, maybe at the end of the semester she take an advantage of no of she didn't gave them a good grades,
Okay.
but they don't care. It was like even if the teacher did that thing, they don't care about it, and it's like they do whatever they want at the end because she doesn't take another kind of options. She let them be.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I'm not trying to say that, for example, the SEP schools. I don't know. I don't know if you remember that. I guess 2 or 3 years ago, I'm not sure if it's still like the some elementary schools or middle schools had like 44 students in the same
Mhm.
classroom, or almost
Mhm.
sometimes I think 50,
Mhm.
especially like little kids. So that's when the teacher says, you know what, I don't know any other option, or I know some options, but I'm avoiding them. Why? Because now, if we have kids, we need to think about the okay, his mom and his dad. What are they going to say if I do something? I'm not saying something like, you know what, I'm gonna throw a marker or whatever. No, but you tell them something, and now the parents are going to be like, why did you tell my so? Why did you tell this to my son or to my daughter? So
Mhm.
now we need to think about factors that are not going to also affect us, but we need to be when we plan the activities, we need to have in mind who are our students, so we can make a good decision and make a good action for them, not for me, for them to learn. Okay, I don't
Miss,
know.
but I sorry,
No, no, no,
but
tell me.
here, for example, if you have a situation
Mm-hmm.
and you don't like in Spanish we say like no tomas cartas en el asunto, like in the future will be like worse because if was like something like super
Mhm.
super silly and well not silly but something that doesn't have to be like a big big problem and you say like no I don't want to worry about it, they are kids, they are playing, they are I don't know joking, but then there will be a point that they will be like ah I don't want to come to the school because a fulanito is like bother me, the teacher doesn't do anything, and
Mm-hmm.
then there will be like a big problem because parents will be like, then number one, why you are a teacher? Number two, why you don't put attention to the problems that are in the classroom?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, in this case, when we see a problem, and we go back to the look at like every event, uh, we need to make we need to think about a decision and then make that action, because then we have this like, again, if we talk about little kids, we have the parents factor that, you know what, they are going to be like this every day. So you need to make that action, even if it's not the best. You have to make it, because then otherwise it's going to repeat and repeat and repeat. So, and not even with little children, where I'm talking about also like teenagers or young adults, because I have had in my classes like 21, 22-year-old students who are forced by their parents to study English, and they don't want to study English. So
Mhm.
you see them just looking around and pretending they are doing something, but I mean, you have to, they are part of the class. Even though you know they don't want to be there, you have to make them part of the class.
Teacher, I got a question.
Uh-huh.
Uh, when suppose that you got some students that never stop talking, they are always talking inside the classroom. Maybe an action could be to try to sit them in the front line. I mean, close to you,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
just to keep them silent when you are doing an explanation.
Yeah. And you know what, that doesn't even work sometimes. Like you
Mm-hmm.
it happens that they always find a way. So one would be the arrangement of the classroom. How am I going to sit them? How do they feel also if I put them at the like on the first row? Because sometimes, like I said, we have students that they don't care if they are in front of the teachers. Again, I have had students who I said, you know what, come here, you're not going to move, and they don't really care. They find a way to do whatever they want,
Mm-hmm.
and it happens. And you need to think about everything. Like again, I go back to the, I saw Miguel, and Miguel is looking at me and he's not doing anything. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know what am I going to do? I can tell my students, you know what? You are going to work with Miguel, So make him work. Like, I don't want you to like speak, 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 because you have students who are strong students, and then the ones who are okay, but they don't want to work. You can tell the ones that are strong, you know what? Have him work. Speak, yes, but he has to speak more. And they do it. It is a motivation for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things that you can do, and we're gonna talk about that during well, this semester, during the next partials, like the things that you can do for have these students, you know what, move and do something. Okay. And let's see what I have. Okay, so in here, basically, I don't know who wants to help me read this part.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
What about me as a teacher and as a person? Classroom decisions and actions are also greatly determined by your own attitudes, intentions, beliefs, and values. What do you believe about learning? What is important for you in learning? What is your genuine feeling towards your students?
Okay. So what do you guys think about this? What is your opinion about this part? What can you tell me when you read this?
It's like the example that you with the cell phone, you as a teacher with the cell phone.
Okay.
Well, but what about?
No, in this case, in
No.
here, focus on this. It says classroom decisions and actions are also greatly determined by your own attitudes, intentions, beliefs, and values for learning. I mean, it's part of, if it's part of that. But what do you think about that? Do you agree or no? Okay,
Well,
Genesis?
as a teacher, you are the highest authority inside the classroom.
Uh-huh.
So your decisions will be final decisions without
Okay.
discussion.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Genesis, you were going to mention something?
Yeah, that I saw a video and it was actually about it. Like, we have this kind of idea that the teachers know everything and the students are there just to learn what the teacher is saying. But it involves more, it involves emotions because the school is their second house.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to create this connection with them and let them know that we can also help them with their feelings.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So normally, I and again, as you start teaching or as you start working as a teacher or in education, so far I know that there are four types of students of teachers. Sorry. So there is a teacher who wants to be the friend of the students. There's a teacher who wants to have a connection with the students, but still makes them learn. Then there is a teacher who doesn't care about the students' feelings and he or she is just there to explain. And then there is a teacher who thinks he or she is the boss or the authority of the class. And I know that as I continue teaching, I'm going to see a lot of different teachers. This is where attitudes, intentions, beliefs, and values involve. As a teacher, do I want to have my students as a friend, or do I prefer to have a connection where they can learn? What do you think is, well, like, what would you choose? Have them as friends or just create a connection for them to feel they are learning?
I guess, well, and I have that with my oldest students.
Mhm.
And for them and obviously for me works to be like secure, to have like the class or to have the classroom be like a space that they can express as the way as the pronunciation can, because if
Mhm.
you start like, if I say for example I wear, or I don't know, something bad, and I say like, no 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 no, it's not like that, okay, just like listen to me, and I say I was, so they will say, will be like, oh okay, so the teacher tell me that my pronunciation is wrong, or the verb or something like that in front of my classmates, and
Mhm.
that is like so bad. So for me, I think is to have a connection, but obviously just that don't lose that thing that I am the teacher and they are my students. So don't see like, hey, what's up or something like that. No, just make them feel like secure, that they can talk or talk to me about the class or whatever they want, but they have to like speak obviously in English, because if they
Mhm.
are talking in Spanish, they are not like learning anything.
Mhm. Yeah. So in this case, like all of this, that this is part of me as a teacher, but me as a teacher is part of classroom management. So what I believe, what my intention is, what I want to transmit to my students, me as a person with my teacher persona also has to be part of the classroom management that I'm going to create for my students. So all of these things I have to have in mind, especially because we're going to be talking about learning. Now, in this case, we are thinking about learning as a factor of classroom management. Okay, but again, we're gonna be talking about this more deeply during the semester. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. In here it says choosing classroom management options. You're going to read the following situations. These are the following situations, okay? And I want you to think about what you would do, and you can write on a piece of paper. No, no, sorry, not in a piece of paper. In a piece of paper. In the Zoom chat, one or two or more options if you want about what you would do in these situations, like what is going to be your decision and your action, okay, in these two situations, okay. So who can help me read situation number one? Only read, you
Me.
don't have to tell
I
me.
can.
Okay,
I can do it.
all right.
Yes, me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you expected an activity to take 5 minutes. It has taken 20 so far, and the students still seem to be very involved. There is something else you would like to do before the lesson ends in 10 minutes.
Okay, so that's situation number one. And Dana, can you read situation number two?
The students are working in groups of three. Two groups have finished the tasks you set them and are now sitting looking bored. The other groups still seem to have a long way to go before they finish.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to ask you to do. We have read this. I want you to, I want to finish this activity. So I want you to write on the Zoom chat one for now, and then we can talk about this later. In the Zoom chat, one or two decisions and actions that you would do for each of the situations, okay? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So let's try to have like 5 minutes for you. Even if it's only one, it's okay. Don't worry. Let's do this in 5 minutes so I can tell you about tomorrow's class. Okay, a step. Okay. All right. So yeah, making sure there are no questions. Okay. So carry on as homework also. Okay, and there. Okay. Okay, so we can continue next class, all right? Okay, so we can stop the activity. All right, so again, we'll go back to the supervising or monitoring and have them do something after they finish. Okay. All right, so not really like finish the class, but have them continue next class. Okay. All right. So kind of like another activity for them during the final part. All right, to have them more involved. Okay, so stop the activity and continue the class, okay? All right, so I guess I think everybody said something already. All right, so in this case, my idea was for us to go to breakout rooms, but that's not something that's going to happen right now. So we're gonna continue with this, and we're gonna have this in mind. The answers, I'm actually going to keep the answers because it's something that we're gonna discuss later. I mean, later during the semester, not later today. So, classroom management. What's classroom management in here? It says, or well, who wants to help me read this paragraph?
Classroom management is defined as the methods and strategies an educator uses to maintain a classroom environment that is conducive to student success and learning. Although there are that pedagogical strategies involved in managing a classroom, a common denominator is making sure that it's an environment that allows them to achieve.
Exactly. So we have the aspect of classroom management as a pedagogical thing, or well, yeah, pedagogical thing that contains strategies, techniques to maintain the environment. But what we need to have in mind that when we think about managing a classroom is that we're managing a classroom for the students to feel that, you know what, with this teacher, I can learn. Because classroom management, it's not all, well, the teacher is part of classroom management, but the real thing is to make sure that the students are in an environment that they learn, that they can go to the house and say, you know what, I learned something because the class is, they don't know what is involved in the class, but they know that they learned something. So when they know that they learned something is when you can say as a teacher, ah, I got it. But as you go with different students, as you go with different classes, it's always going to be different. So that is something that you need to have in mind. Don't expect that what works with one group is going to work with another. So that's also important. Okay?
Yeah, I think every group will be different,
Mm-hmm.
as well as every lesson will be different. I
Exactly.
mean, different situations could be coming out, and it doesn't means that in the other class you will have the same status.
Yeah, exactly. So the only thing that you have to have in mind is if the environment you are creating for the students is the best when
Mhm.
it comes to their learning. So because you need to we need to stop thinking in a way that it's me, teacher, me. Yes, it's like forget about that. Like that
Mhm.
doesn't exist. The thing that exists is, are your students actually learning? So that's what we have to have in mind. And with this, we are going to finish today's session, but I'm going to tell you something. Tomorrow, we have in here it says, what does classroom management involve? So part of classroom management is classroom interaction, teacher talk and student talk, and increasing students interaction. Sitting, we can have fixed, semi-fixed, and large sitting, giving instructions, students interaction, pairs or group, or all the class. We can also have sitting, types of sitting arrangements. How are they sitting? Types of classes. Are they large, very small? Are they mixed abilities or monolingual classes? Classroom management involves personalities. So you know what? Maybe Alejandro is a very um smart person, but Hassan is very serious. So they don't really get along because Hassan doesn't like to speak a lot, and Alejandro likes to speak a lot because he wants to share information with Hassan, and maybe they don't get very well together.
Okay.
We have different ages also. We need to have that in mind. Does age matter in in classrooms? Are they best friends or are they strangers? What happens? And the external factors. Are they a noisy class? What about the timing? Okay. These are factors. This is part of classroom management. But here is what you're going to do for tomorrow. Let me erase the marker. These topics, all of these, the ones that are in the yellow box, they are part or they are included in the PDF files that I have in the platform. They can be in chapter 1 or chapter 3, depending. Before you go right now, I want you to select one topic, okay? Because you're going to prepare a short presentation for tomorrow, okay? The topics in the PDF, they have all the information you need to explain for tomorrow. And it's really not so much. So it's basically read the information, prepare the presentation. The presentation, honestly, 4 minutes, I think it's a lot. So it's
Mhm.
only prepare something. Again, they are in chapter 1, chapter 3, but I want you to select one from these topics. Only one. You don't have to do like 2 or 3. Only one. And right now, I want you to tell me what topic you want to select because it's for tomorrow.
I choose different ages.
Okay, so Andrea, I'm gonna put this Andrea. Okay, this is Andrea.
I will choose types of classes, mixed ability classes, and monolingual classes.
Okay, so this one is Aster. Okay.
I choose personalities.
Híjole.
All right.
And me student interaction.
All right. So Hassan, you're student interaction, right?
Yeah. And then it says personalities.
Okay, Dana personalities.
Okay, I will choose seating, types of seating arrangements.
Okay, Alejandro, this is I'm gonna put Alex, okay?
Okay.
Shorter for Alejandro, right? What about Marla, Genesis, Aster? No, Aster, you told me already. Ulises.
I choose external factors, multi-class.
Okay, so.
And I will choose best friends.
All right, so best friends or strangers. This is Genesis. Marla?
Teacher, I can do it right now.
What?
Miss, the ones who choose already we leave is because they say in the email or in the platform that if we miss like 10 minutes, we are not going to the workshop.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna send this picture to the Remind group, okay?
Okay.
So yeah.
Miss, I'm sorry. It's just that I don't know why I think that the workshop start at 9:40. So I'm sorry. Continue. We have at 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. No worry. So this is what I want you to do before I let you go. Okay. In the platform, I already have this open. So you can, if you want to go back and check the instructions, check the instructions. Basically, I want you to prepare a PowerPoint presentation. Honestly, the topics are really short. Like the information is really short. So you don't have to go and find other information.
Okay.
So just in the platform, you have this one, and you have this one. You just have to check where is, if it's in chapter 2 or if it's in chapter 3, the topic that you have, okay? But I don't want you to go to another like source or web page or whatever. Everything is in the PDF, okay? So you don't have to look at somewhere else. All right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna have this open. My idea is for tomorrow, you guys come and you are the ones who are going to lead the class, okay? I'm just going to be observing and we're going to have discussions and that's it, okay?
Okay, Miss.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have this open for you guys to upload your presentation today or tomorrow. So don't worry about that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, but tomorrow you give the presentation, okay?
Yes.
Okay, Miss.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So
Have
you
a good
can.
day.
Thank you.
Yes, you too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 La necesidad. En este caso, pues todos los docentes, todos tuvimos que